Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Told you we weren't going to come on as late as we did yesterday. Of course, it ain't that much sooner either. Okay, I'm sorry. I heard a little echo that I was making there. I was confusing myself. All right. Um, hmm. Oh, there we go. Now, let me see who was here first. Fancy, fancy. Thank you so much for being here first. Um, hmm, Let me grab my slides. Uh-oh. Nope, that wasn't ready yet. Hold on a second. Come on, slides. Come on, slides. There we go. Don't need that. Now I can grab my slides. Wow, today is the 9th already, huh? My goodness, where did the time go? Mercy me, oh my. I'm speaking. Okay. So I'll say hi to the rest of you as we go along. Yes, I actually watched the VP earlier. Yes, I actually watched it earlier. She was good. But that Tim Waltz, he is amazing. He has a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Okay. So, um, hello, Puzzle Dot. It's been a while. Judy Matacid, hello. Cherry Hill, Gwendolyn Daniels, Sonia Johnson, hello. Thank you for being here. Praying Auntie, don't we need you right now? But I had a praying grandmother, and I knew enough to call on the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Yeah, I felt a little Helen Baylor for a second there. Save my granddaughter. But I knew enough to call on the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. You know, the testimony, that's the only part of the song I like. Once she started that little chorus at the end, I started all over again. Well, that was a good song though, wasn't it? Love that song. But I really only like the testimony. But when she started, I'm like, okay, that sounds like everything else now. Now it sounds like everything else. I'm gonna rewind it. Okay. Uh where was I? Charles III. Now, listen. We're gonna talk about the riot a bit, and then we're gonna go on to some other stuff. So, just so you know, um, because we got to talk about Charles and his lack of input. Charles III. You know, we've been calling William and Kate lazy for years. But Charles is not a lazy person. Charles just doesn't have he doesn't what is the word that I'm looking for? He he okay, he's not the most confrontational person, even though they say he has a bit of a temper. But he kind of puts stuff off, right? He obfuscates, and I don't even know what that means, but I think that's what he's been doing. Um, what is the word I'm looking for? Uh, he doesn't. He doesn't. When you're not confronting the issues at hand, he's Indecisive. That's the word. Indecisive. He's very indecisive. He doesn't take a stand when he really should. Always indecisive. Yes, he's a oxymoron too. I thought that was some other kind of oxy. I was about to say, you got one? You got one? Yes, an oxymoron. That's it. Not the other stuff. Anyway, a procrastinator. Thank you. That's a good word too. Procrastinator. He always procrastinates. Why put off tomorrow what you can do today? What kind of king are you? Some head of state. Chuck is a coward. Yes, the cowardly lion. Say what you wanna, but I'm here to stay because I'm a mean old lion. Da, 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 da. Go where you're gonna, but don't get in my way. I'm a mean old lion. You just look, you better beware. Remember that song from The Wiz? But if you happen to come around, I just might knock you down because I'm a mean old lion. Wow, I haven't watched The Wiz in a while. Maybe I should watch that. Okay, so indecisive Charles, um, $3 Chuck. Yes, he is $3. He's the third Charles, right? So $3 Chuck, $3 Chuck. King calls for unity in the wake of riots. Okay, we saw that yesterday, but let me continue. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these and get to all of the messy stuff, but we know what happened. You all seen the headlines and everything. It was a mess, okay? It was a mess. We don't have to go through all the details. And it made for a very difficult week for people who were just going about their business. They never knew when they might get cornered or whatever. And for anyone who has visited that country, is such a contrast from the way, like I remember the place. And I've been to some of those other places. I didn't just stay in London. I've been to Manchester and Bristol and Birmingham and Liverpool. I've been to those places. Beautiful towns. Um, and not for a second did I feel unsafe. But you know what? I have a theory. When you're visiting, you're not a threat. But if you're staying there, if that's what you're calling home, then that's when the problems start, right? That's what I think. So I wouldn't see that part of things. Just like when I stayed in Brixton, I didn't know it was a bad neighborhood until after I left. I mean, I didn't think it was bad, but some people were like, "You were in Brixton?" Yeah. "You're in Brixton?" Yes. And you know what? I walked through one of those housing estates. I did not have a problem. Now, I could tell it was a housing estate because, listen, I know housing projects when I see it. In the US, we call them housing projects, okay? I know the projects when I see them. It was a housing estate. I didn't feel the least bit threatened. But then again, like I said, I was just visiting. I mean, I had tourists written all over me, so they wasn't thinking about me. Yeah, Brixton is the hood. Well, I knew it was kind of hood when I went to the McDonald's by the train station, or as some people in Europe call it, the American Embassy. I went to the McDonald's and I sat down and I'm like sitting at one of the booths by myself. And all of a sudden, I heard a tray hit the table. And I look up and this mom, she was wearing a hijab. She had her children. She slapped that tray on the table. And then I saw her just kind of throw them kids inside of that booth. One, two, And then 3, she plopped down and she was holding the baby. She didn't say good morning. She didn't say excuse me. She didn't ask me if anybody was sitting here. She just sat down. I said, "Oh, that's how we do it, huh?" I thought it was funny though. When in Rome, right? Go with the flow. I'm just like a dead fish. I always go with the flow. So I just went with it. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Wouldn't happen from at home, but that's interesting. So that happened. Race riot reckoning. Well, as we know, the tabloids. Oh yeah. Why does this remind me of a cat? Huh? I feel like a cat is hissing at me, right? I don't know why I feel like there is a very large cat hissing at me. But well, people around the world got a chance to see the real Britain. Let me stop because I got in trouble for showing poor people and the disenfranchised. So I'm not going to do that again. But it's just incredible to me that some of those people that were out there screaming and we want our country back, none of them to me seem like the, shall we say, the deep end of the gene pool. You know what I'm saying? They seem like they came from a very shallow part of the pool. Um, I mean, surely this is not someone who likens themselves to being genetically superior to most women in this world or most people in this world. But yeah, I saw all of these genetically superior beings out wreaking havoc and setting things alight and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to start that again because I got in trouble last time because I wasn't supposed to display that part of Britain. I got to stick with the nice parts of things and all that. But because that the riots happened and everything, um, well, anyway, I'm just going to skip ahead. So, um, uh, anyway, so the thing is, there is no single person that is responsible. There's there's people in the government. There are the media people, and of course there are the everyday working class and poor people. And let us not forget the upper class, right? That's the part where someone thought I neglected to mention the fact that there are a lot of very rich people, right? There's rich and upper middle class people, all equally offensive, if you ask me. But the thing is, it's not most of Britain. I'm going to stress that one more time, as I have so many times. It is not the majority of the British people. It is a very vocal, very angry, very paranoid group within the nation, right? That feel as though they have been slighted by the government. And the government feels as though it's not in our control because, this party or that party won't do their job. They won't enforce the law. They keep passing the buck. But at the same time, a lot of the people that have come over, they get jobs, they work and pay into the system, they invest in their communities, They work as caretakers, they work in the restaurants, they start businesses. There's a lot of things that they do. There's a lot of jobs that they will do that other people just won't. Same here in the United States. I would love to see an American born person do some of the jobs that they say are being taken away from them. I would love to see them do some of those jobs. The truth is, they just won't. They would rather drink muddy water or sleep out in a hollow log than to do some of those jobs. It's the same thing here as it is over there. I watched a documentary one time from the UK where they took a slice of people, young, older, and somewhere in between. And they were people on benefits. They were all white people on benefits. They tried to give them jobs. Half of the group said, no, I don't want to interfere with my benefits. The other half, well, let me put it to you like this. They were not really prepared to work. One kid sat at home, a 19-year-old, and played video games. Did anybody else see that documentary? Although there was just one kid out of this group of, let me say it was 20, which was down to about 10 when half of them said, no, you're going to mess up my benefits. And so that one kid who was so proud to get a job at a restaurant, the guy who owns the restaurant said he cannot keep employees because they quit. They don't want to work. It's the same thing over here. So why are you blaming the immigrants? You got to stop doing that. If you think someone's going to take your job, then, well, let me stop, because I was going to say you're probably not, you're probably not able to do the job if somebody is going to take it from you. They're not going to take a job from somebody who can do the job efficiently. Now, yes, everybody wants cheap labor. That's true. Then get a promotion. Do something for yourself. You're going to stay in the same place all those years? And you're going to work right next to someone who just got here? There's always room for advancement. The thing is, there's 9 million jobs available in the UK. 9 million. And how many jobs here in the US? 40, 50 million jobs? There are tons of jobs. There's like almost no excuse. Now, unless you have a health problem or something, what is the excuse? Do what other people are doing. I've had some terrible jobs. I've cleaned toilets before. I wasn't ashamed to do it. I mean, I've done some stuff that, I did what I had to do. And when I could do better, I did better. But the point is, when I wanted to work, I could find work. I didn't make excuse about what language someone speaks. I think these people are just using the migrants, the immigrants, as scapegoats. I do. And even if they're born in the UK, they still go after them. Look at these headlines. Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder that there was trouble? Look at that. BBC puts Muslims before you. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of they didn't even tell the Queen. Remember that? Harry and Meghan, they didn't even tell the Queen. Harry and Meghan blindsides the Queen. Harry and Meghan twist the knife. These are the same people writing the same type of headlines, but instead of this person or that couple, it is an entire sector of the population. Those kids have to go to school. But their classmates are going to pick up all of this racist language from their parents and they're going to bully those kids at school. That's where there's a problem. And the government says nothing and does nothing. And that includes Charles. King Charles urged to break royal silence on UK riots and racism. Although Charles, William, and Kate expressed their condolences after the Southport attack, the palace has yet to comment on the unrest gripping the country. It's so easy. You just say, can't we just get along? Can't we all just get along? It's better than saying nothing. But they didn't even do the least. They just didn't say anything. The other two went on vacation while Godzilla and Charlie went up to Edinburgh. They went to the Highland Games. Where are your priorities? They could have gone to meet with families. You don't even have to take a stand. You could just meet with people. You could be photographed with people on both sides. Say nothing, be photographed. They wouldn't even do that. What are people paying for that family for? What does it say to the people of the Commonwealth? The people of the Commonwealth who has made you the head of the Commonwealth. His mama said, please, in my demise, could you please make my imbecile son the head of the Commonwealth? Queen out. Right? So they made him the head of the Commonwealth. God help us. And what does he do when there's race riots? Nothing. There are people from the Commonwealth that have moved to the UK, right? They call the UK home. Or maybe their parents was from a Commonwealth country. And what does Charles say? Nothing. Just y'all let me know what's up. That's all he had to say was, let me know what's up with them riots. What a failure. A loser, a failure, and a short-sighted panty waist. That's what he is. A short-sighted panty waist. The king has been criticized for not issuing public statement in response to the riot that has gripped the country. Although Charles and the Prince and Princess of Wales expressed their condolences after the Southport attack, the palace has yet to condemn the unrest. It is understood that the king has asked for daily updates on the evolving situation. Why? So he'll know when to run? Is that why? So he'll know which house to run to? And is engaging and is engaging privately with issues concerning community cohesion and interfaith dialogue. What is a cohesion and interfaith dialogue? And how do you hear any of this if you're running to your next house? Charles and his aides are examining and reviewing the situation nationally and are talking to the government to ensure the palace is kept abreast of developments. One breast to two breasts, it doesn't matter. Stuff was going down, and you haven't yet to say anything publicly. Any statement or visit from a member of the royal family to the affected areas is likely to happen on the advice of the government, as well as the case in 2011 riots when the late Queen did not issue public statement. However, the continued silence from the palace has drawn criticism. What did they say when Princess Diana died? Ma'am, show us you care, right? Show us you care. Well, you have to show people that you care. But he's not going to do it. Kate, William, let me see. Yeah, Kate and William. Shouldn't it say that? Or is it Kate Williams? Oh, that's somebody else's name. Kate Williams, the historian, said that she believes the king ought to address the nation in response to the riots and that something ought to be said on behalf of the royal family. Speaking to Times Radio, the professor of public engagement with history at the University of Reading said this would be a moment for the king to talk about multiculturalism, the Commonwealth, people coming together. And I think that if I were advising him, I would suggest making a statement sooner rather than later, right? Don't wait until Windsor Castle has to be rebuilt again, right? Don't wait until that happens, unless you want to be like your mama. 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was 1992. It was the horribilis, whatever that word was, she said, some Latin word that means horrible year. A horribilis, 1992. So unless he wants to follow in his mama's footsteps, oh God, 2024 was a terrible year. My suit was ruined by an egg. Camilla's not getting any younger. And I swear I don't know which house to run to. That's going to be his speech. Totally clueless. 2024. That will be his horrible year. He didn't know which castle to run to. Williams continued, we are in crisis times. This is an outbreak of violence that is getting worse and it's not abating. And we are seeing that people are terrified. There are cities tonight that are going to be gripped by this racist violence, this anti-Islamic violence, and it's just terrible. And I think this is the moment where the monarchy does need to come out and say something. Williams suggests that even if the king felt unwell as a result of his cancer treatment, he could nevertheless, that is, offer a written statement. Yeah. Take those little chubby, dexterous sausage fingers of yours and write something out. She added, I do think that something should be said on behalf of the royal family, expressing sympathy with those who have lost their livelihoods, those who are living in fear. Do we need to get to the point where we've got people dying? Because I think that if people do look to the monarchy and they do want to know what the monarchy thinks. Yeah, people are looking to the monarchy and they want to know what the monarchy thinks. Like, for instance, what if somebody just happened to run into Kate Middleton and they want to know what she thinks? Okay, maybe not. Okay, they have to catch her at the right time. That's what I got. They have to catch her at the right time. What if they run into Andrew? They might want to know what he thinks. Okay, probably a bad time for him too. Anyway, they need to say something. You know, if you're on your break at work and you happen to see somebody puffing on a Newport, just, go over there and say, what up, sister? Anyway, you have to catch the royal family at the right time. That's all. Anyway, as I was saying, so it was followed by a message on social media from William and Kate saying, as parents, we cannot begin to imagine what the families, friends, and loved ones of those killed or injured in Southport today are going through. Christian, Jewish, and Muslim leaders have been united and outspoken in the condemnation of the hatred and thuggery shown during the riots. Everybody else is saying something. I don't see anything political about that. The Archbishop of Canterbury condemned the violence in the strongest terms, saying that illegal demonstrators defile the flag they wrapped themselves in. How difficult was that? How difficult was that? The king visited Hillsdale, Scotland on Wednesday to mark the centenary of the war memorial and the 150th anniversary of the town's railway line. Such events are considered to be part of the public reassurance provided by the royal family during strained times. Are they serious? Any decision for the royals to visit Southport or areas affected by the violence would be considered only if the visit did not create an added burden on the police at the time when officers may be required elsewhere. During the summer riots in 2011, when police arrested nearly 4,000 people by early September, the late Queen did not issue a statement, and members of the royal family visited areas of rioting only once the violence had abated. In other words, when we done with vacation, we might say something, but only when our vacation is complete. Yeah, you know what? They should remove Charles and replace it with a chicken. Yeah, you should remove one chicken and replace it with a real chicken. That's what they should do. They can remove that picture of Charles and replace it with a chicken since he's so scared. Black Queen. Baron, I put a link in the chat story about Black British soldier oh, yes. Yeah, those won't stay in the chat. Those won't stay in the chat, but I will put it in the community tab. I'll do that, but those won't stay in the chat. Anyone who tries to post a link to a video, it won't stay in the chats. There's a block for that so that the derangers are unable to do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a reason why it's not there. But this is what I can do. I so happen to have it handy, and I will create a post right now, right? And I will put that in the community tab. Okay, done. Done. All right, go check it out. And thank you for the super chat. 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. That was a year that the Windsor Castle burned, baby, burned. It burned, baby, burned like a disco inferno. That was a year that Windsor Castle burned like a disco inferno. I could have grilled some rib tips or some hamburgers or perhaps some of those frankfurters. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so how difficult it must be for Charles to speak against hate and racism when he is at the center of the shame, hate, and racism directed toward his daughter in law. Woof. Woof. Now, I'm going to say somebody went there. Somebody went there. Huh. How difficult it must be for Charles. I mean, after all, look at what happened to your daughter in law, sweetie. Huh? Look at what happened to your daughter in law. It's taken 10 days for the king, who prides himself on being a symbol of national unity, to comment. In doing so, Charles hasn't called out the racism and Islamophobia. To remain relevant, his officials will need to be more fleet of foot, that is, in the future. And that's replying to a story there that says King Charles praises community spirit and says he hopes for unity after aggressions and criminality of the recent disorder, blah, 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 blah. Leg says, once the riots are done and the media pivots for our benefit, that is, then we, the British royal family, will say something. We have the best intentions for our subjects. Are you writing for them too? No, I get the mockery there. I do. I do get the sarcasm. Um, Yes, only after the riots are done and the media pivots for our benefits, meaning, of course, the royal family, then we, the British royal family, will say something, anything. We have the best intentions for our subjects. Sign Charles, Charles Childbearing Hips Windsor. Charles of Childbearing Hips Windsor. All right. Thank you so much, Legs. Okay. And there you have two of those genetically superior British who wants nothing to do with those people of a foreign extraction. Absolutely nothing. How dare they contaminate our gene pool? No one is more genetically superior than the two of us. I mean, you could just look at them and tell that if there was the end of times and there was one rocket ship that they could send into space so that the human race could continue, and they chose couples from every race, I think these two will represent all of white humanity. They will. They are the best that Europe has to offer, bar none. Um, but first, we got to wait till they get out of jail. Married racist couple who attacked Kurdish man with a metal pole screaming, "Yeah, go back to your own country," are jailed. So we got to wait till they get out of jail. Britain stands united. It's about time. It's about time. Looks like now Charles the chicken could finally raise his head above the parapet so that everyone could take notice of the fact of how brave and enduring he is. No wonder he's survived for all these years as a Prince of Wales. It's a demonstration of his vitality. That's why he wore that field marshal uniform over to the D-Day celebration. He was all dressed up like he was ready to storm the beaches of Normandy. He even had that, I don't know what that baton was. He had some weird baton in his hand with all kind of little ornate doohickeys and stuff on it. I still don't know what that was for. Now, here is a little something I thought was interesting, and thank you, Muriel, for posting this. Racists are using the 2023 video of Kate Middleton, that is. Did I say Kate Militant? Boy, that was a Freudian slip. Of Kate Militant to spread more hatred and fake news. She's always deserved her title of Princess of of that. Anyway, um, so what are they talking about now? I believe is that Spanish? Is that Spanish? I think it's Spanish. Hombres, yeah. Let me translate that for the rest of you. Right there it says urgent. The mayor of London demands Princess of Wales Catherine to wear a veil to visit certain areas of Muslim majority. Several Muslim men do not greet the princess for being a woman. So this is an old photo. You all probably know that already. And yes, someone is using this as a way to um, stir up racism. It is total fake news. That is fake news. No one has insisted Kate wear hijab to visit uh, certain Muslim majority areas. What it is that she's visiting, it's either a mosque or a community center. And as such, no different than if you were going to visit the Pope. Most women usually cover their hair when they go and visit the pontiff. Well, same here. There is a holy man in the photo, and likewise, she has covered her hair. That is the protocol, and we all know what protocols are. They're exercising protocols. You know, just like they expect people to do that ridiculous knee popping curtsy, right? They expect grown women to do a curtsy in front of them. Well, they expect Kate to cover up her head, to cover up her extensions. Maybe they thought it was something unholy about hair extensions. I don't know. But same flavor, same flavor. So, as you know, Kate Middleton did cover her hair that day. I remember that day distinctly because there was a bit of controversy, but it had nothing to do. And at least, and let me go back to that one more time. The mayor, and they're trying to stir up racism about Sadiq Khan. Mayor Sadiq Khan would not say something like that. Number one, he just would not do it. And number two, he has no authority to tell the royals what to do. That is just a big lie. That is something to create animosity against Mayor Sadiq Khan. In other words, perhaps they are trying to, you know what I'm saying, make a target out of him. Is that it? What's at play here? Sadiq Khan is a very honorable man, and he has proudly served Greater London for years now without incident. So whoever did that, they should be ashamed of themselves. Poliva Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Um, the thing is, this is Kate Middleton going once, going twice, going three times. That is Kate Middleton. Just in case you didn't know. I know you might not recognize her with her head covered up like that, but I assure you that's Kate Middleton. So, that particular occasion, Kate Middleton had reached out her hand to the holy man that you see right there, the imam, or I'm not sure what they call him. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but it says, "Oops, Kate's awkward moment at Islamic Center, but take a look at there. She went out to reach out and touch his hand, and he is not supposed to make contact like that. You know, that's not his thing. He ain't supposed to make contact with anything or anybody that seems unholy. Yeah. Um Yeah, anybody, you know what I'm saying? It's not considered, what is the word that I'm looking for? It's not it's not it's not something they do. Unless you're Meghan Markle, who went to one of the oldest mosques in all of Africa, and she was greeted by the imam there, or whatever his title is. And of course, when it's Megan, then the whole energy is different. So Megan, Kate, Megan, Kate. See what I mean? It's different. I don't know why it's different, but like I say, it's not for him to make contact with anything that is considered unholy. So yeah, for the sake of holiness, he kept it. He just, he was very polite about it. He put his hand on his chest to acknowledge her, but it was considered unholy for him to do that. Now, when Megan went to that mosque in Africa, they didn't seem to have any issues. Not only a handshake, but an embrace. I mean, she was completely embraced, in a father daughter like way, a spiritual father and a spiritual daughter embrace, which I think under the rules is okay. But if it's, you know, somebody who used to open up the window and in college, and you know what I'm saying? That thing she used to do out the window at college, then maybe there's some scripture that says that that's not allowed. Or if you go on vacation and you get photographed or something like that, or if you used to work on a corporate retreat yacht or something, maybe it's not okay. So whatever the case may be, if you were conducting business with the owner of Virgin Airways, late into the night, getting some help for party pieces, then maybe that is something that is deemed unworthy. I'm being serious. I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is between the Duchess of Cambridge and the Duchess of Sussex. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the difference is. But I just remember Megan went to a mosque and was embraced by the people there. But when Kate went to a Islamic community center, they were like, "Hold them up! Whoa, 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 whoa! Mm-mm, mm-mm." You know that it just wasn't possible. So I don't think I'm rubbing it in. I'm just stating the facts as they were. But I think William said it best, right? William said it best when he said,
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes it does more than financial.
well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So
yeah, so he just gave her a little smile here and there, and that was important. But just don't touch me. I give you a little smile, but don't touch me. Unless you're Meghan, then it's okay. Because, Meghan's cool. That's all. I wonder if that's where the jealousy comes from. I don't know. Oh, well. Have you all got the point, or should I keep going? Yeah, that's all. I mean, other than that, at the time, they were virtually equals. She wasn't the Princess of Wales or anything. She was just, Kate from around the block, from up the way. And of course, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. So that was the only thing that I can see that was different. I don't know. I don't know. No. Maybe they ran out of hand sanitizer that day. I don't know. And then, of course, I can't, listen, I wasn't there. If I had to guess, I think William might have been making fun of her. You know, well, nobody likes to shake hands with old jazz hands here, right? Here, Governor. Nobody likes to shake with old jazz hands here. Oh, it's just better if she does a little smile and a wave, but you know how jazz hands are. uh, but listen, I wouldn't want to touch his hand either because you don't know where his hands have been either. You don't know where his hands have been. Little smile and wave. Now, as I was doing research for today's Royal Sussex, oh, and by the way, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit that like button. It drives the algorithm, and that's what keeps the lights on. So do hit that like button. Um, why is Camilla? Why is she wearing a leopard skin face mask? Why is she wearing a leopard skin face mask? Now, I'm going to say this. Otherwise, her outfit is kind of cute. Her outfit is kind of cute, but I think it's absolutely disgusting to go in there looking like you got some draws on your face. And that's what it looks like. It looks like she's got some draws on her face. Whose is unclear. But you ain't supposed to go into a religious place looking like you got some draws across your mouth. That was totally disrespectful. And if you ask me, it's probably like some little in joke between her and Charles. As usual, they like to laugh at people of different cultures. But that's what that is. I think it's very disrespectful. And she should be ashamed of herself if she has any shame. I think it's disgusting. I mean, she's somebody's mama. We all know she had a litter of something. And the fact that she went in there wearing something as garish and as tacky as that, leopard skin, really? And I don't know if it's just me, but why do I feel like she looked like she been chasing Tom and Jerry around the house? Why do I feel like she's been chasing Tom and Jerry? Do you get that feeling? I feel like she's been chasing Tom and Jerry. I mean, take a look at there. Look, 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 look. Look at that. Who wears something like that to a mosque? Now, I am getting Tom and Jerry from those slippers. I don't know what FW Woolworth she went to find those slippers, but they're disgusting. Plush furry slippers, tiger skin or leopard skin rather face mask. What is your problem, lady? Look at that. Thomas, Thomas, if you don't get in here, Thomas, she looked like she should be chasing Tom and Jerry around. Thomas, if you don't get in here, child, if you don't get in here, Thomas? Why is she in there looking like she been chasing Tom and Jerry around? Why? She go to the mosque. It's offensive enough that she's wearing a leopard skin face mask, but then she go in there looking like the housekeeper chasing Tom and Jerry around. The only thing that's missing is the rolling pin. She really should have a rolling pin and an apron, and she'll look just like the woman on Tom and Jerry. Thomas, you don't get in here? Where you at? Thomas, get in here. Thomas, you don't get in here? Just when I thought she was as tacky as she could be. And like I said, the outfit is not bad. But where it goes south is wearing those F.W. Woolworth plush slippers. She could have put on like a little ballet slipper or something. She put something on her feet, looked like she about to run down to the corner store and get some cornmeal so she can cook some catfish. That's what you wear when the school call and say there's been an emergency. You don't wear that to a mosque with a leopard skin face mask. Thomas? Anyway, Prince Charles is a coward. Paul Costello. It's taken 10 days for King Charles, who prides himself. Anyway, we read that already. Let us continue here. I like this guy. Now, again, thank you, Muriel, for finding this. Princess Diana's fashion designer, Paul Costello, calls Charles a coward over royal row. Now, this article came out about the time of the Oprah Winfrey interview. Charles is a coward. He is afraid. He wasn't able to handle the breakup of his marriage, so he was already a loser in the way he behaved. It just wasn't in him to face up to things he needed to face up to before it was too late. Some people hide away. He goes and walks in the garden. He will go and sail a boat and keeps very occupied. He hibernates. Some people do that, and it's probably not his fault. We're all good. Even I'm good at avoiding difficult situations, but sometimes you just have to do it. You have to stick your head up and say, we have a problem and we need to sort it out. Speaking after Harry and Meghan's television interview, Costello said the royal family's treatment of spouses they dislike is well known. I like this guy. I really like this guy. He said what needed to be said. Unlike this guy, Bruce Oldfield, or Bruce Oldfield, the Queen Consort has picked Princess Diana's favorite fashion designer to make her coronation gown. He was friends with Diana for over 10 years. Diana put him on the map. And what did he do? He started sewing for Camilla. It was the ultimate in your face from Camilla. That was rubbing it in the face of anybody who loved and supported Diana. What kind of friend is he? that he would do that. A chance meeting with Diana led to 10-year friendship. Her, well, that's a typo. The perfect client. Well, whatever. He said, when I look back, it was relentless for her. We did dress her up like she was going to a wedding every day. He was awarded an OB. Oh, there you go. No wonder. He was awarded an OBE in 1990 and has been whatever it cuts off. But yeah, so there you go. There you go. So is working in secret for Camilla, or at least he did. And he didn't stop with the coronation. No, he didn't stop there. Look at there. How do you justify sewing for that beast? That beast when you were friends with Diana? It's insulting. I mean, I know he's getting older. I know he has an OBE. He might be a little hard up for money, but Diana was your friend. And then one of the magazines didn't hesitate to make a mockery. They put Camilla and Diana next to each other like they were best of friends. So I decided to remove the Photoshop from Camilla's image so that we can see her the way she actually appears. A silky chicken. But yeah, I didn't put the two of them together. I believe it. Which magazine was that? I think it was The Sun. The Sun had the nerves to put Diana next to it like they were friends. How dare they? How dare they? That is just sick. Do you hear me? Sick! It's absolutely sick. Diana would not approve. Now, I'm assuming that Oldfield, and Camilla are good girlfriends now. But then again, I had to rethink that when I realized that he sent Camilla over to Germany looking like she was covered in barbed wire. It looks like she's covered in barbed wire. Now, there's a sample of various types of barbed wire and even razor wire, and you decide, is the pattern of that dress is the pattern of that dress some type of plant, or is it barbed wire? I think perhaps Diana paid a visit to Bruce in his dreams and said, listen, I will haunt you for the rest of your days if you do not do something about that. And so he probably came up with this design for her to wear over to Germany. I don't know why that particular pattern reminds me of World War II, but it does. And it's fitting for her. It looks like a POW camp couture. Yeah, POW camp couture, prisoner of war camp. There you go. And of course, Charles didn't do much better going over there looking like what's his name? What was his name from the grandpa from looking like grandpa from the Monsters. Bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum. Yep, Charles went over there looking like grandpa, and Camilla went over there looking like that thing that lived up under the steps. looking like that. What was that thing that lived under the steps that was blowing fire? She looked like that thing that was living up under the steps. Now, here's a couple of more of those genetically superior Brits. Genetically superior Brits. 18-year-old teen who left his own bingo birthday party to join far-right riots is jailed rather. Two teens left his own 18 bingo birthday party to join a far-right riot. Who does that? Who has the caucasity to leave a birthday party? You're having a birthday party. You're having the time of your life. It's your birthday. You just turned 18. Now you're old enough to vote, I suppose. And what do? You go out and try to bully people of foreign extractions just for sport. And his companion with the pink shirt, how intimidating he looks wearing a fuchsia t-shirt. I don't know what I would be more afraid of. The fact that he that he looks like a giant teacup, or the fact that he is wearing fuchsia. Yeah, I think I'd be a little afraid of a grown man wearing a fuchsia t-shirt. Now, there is a condition that causes the ears to curl forward. I don't want to make fun of anyone who has that condition because it's very serious. If you know, you know. I'm thinking that may be what the issue is, right? For those ears curl forward. Either that or it's just selective breeding, inbreeding. Selective breeding, inbreeding. And then I thought about it. Maybe he's been a little hellraiser his whole life. And the reason why one ear is bigger than the other is because there have been so many occasions where somebody snatched him by that ear and had to teach him a thing or two. That's why one of those ears are bigger, because he's been misbehaving and they were like, yeah, get over here, love. And they just had to, you know what I'm saying? How many times did somebody have to go up to school for this lot? And they grabbed that ear and just got to pulling and pulling and pulling. And now one ear is not like the other. One of these ears is just not the same. Lex says, I think there is more than in the water. You mean the contaminated runoff from Britain that has been contaminating the beaches and the rivers? You think there's more than that? Now, they say that London, they name big cities and what the highest level of recreational party favors. And they said some years ago, London, their waters were full of baking soda. I'm pretty sure if you go to West Virginia, their water is full of, it's full of some other stuff. Not to be confused with baking soda. Instead of lifting you up, it will definitely take you down forever. Anyway, so he's been misbehaving. And for that reason, oh, by the way, thank you, Lex. For that reason, one ear has actually extended further than the other. Now, there is no distinction. Judge jails two counter-protesters, no matter how hot they look. The judge has jailed two counter-protesters, even if they have the most forgiving eyes, even though they have those chiseled features, right? Beautiful olive complexion. It didn't matter. The judge decided to throw them in jail anyway. Now, if I can find their commissary, let me see some thumbs up for anybody who's looking for their commissary, in case they get lonely when they get out. If you want the commissary, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Um, I'll check it out for you. Where's Black Queen? She usually have a couple of extra dollars here and there. Huh? They're gonna be needing some commissary. I'm just saying. You can get pretty lonely in the Crossbar Hotel. So they're not bad looking. Listen, there's nothing wrong with dating outside of your race or outside of the country or someone who is incarcerated. I mean, it's 2024. You got to take what you can get. So, all right. I know some of y'all are going to inbox me and say, listen, what's their prisoner ID number? I want to send them some commissary. I could think of a few of y'all that are gonna inbox me. I'm not gonna say who. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but do not be embarrassed. Plus, they were only defending their families. They were defending their communities, not like those other two that was out there flipping cars, allegedly setting things on fire, possibly. These two superheroes, these two guys were only trying to protect their communities. So anyway, holla at me. Both men were involved in a fight on the streets of Leeds. Oh, okay. So that's the Yorkshire police. Well, that narrows it down. Commissary? Anyway, the king expressed his heartfelt thanks to the emergency services in a phone call with the prime minister and police chiefs on Friday evening, praising their efforts to restore peace, a Buckingham Palace spokesman said. Yeah, well, where was the king at when he made that comment? Where was he at? Which house? Was he at Dumfries' house? That's in the middle of nowhere. Oh, my wife and I have been profoundly shocked to hear of the utterly horrific incident in Southport today. We send our most heartfelt condolences, prayers, and deepest sympathies to the families and loved ones of those who have so tragically lost their lives, and to all those affected by this truly appalling attack. Signed, Charles Rex, also known as Chicken Charles. Speaking of chickens, this is one that you won't see for a while. Kate Middleton. The Daily Beast was right, and the other publications, they were right. Do not expect to see much of Kate Middleton. Do not expect to see much of Kate Middleton. She finally has the life that she always wanted. Now, you guys, give me a thumbs up if you remember what I said. And I'm not saying that I predicted any of the details, but remember when I said last fall, don't worry about it. This is unsustainable. This is more work than William and Kate has ever done in this amount of time. I said that is unsustainable. You don't have to worry about it. They are going to get tired, and we're not going to see them for a while. I had no idea that any of this was coming. I thought that they were going to do all that stuff up until Christmas, right? And then disappear for a little while, come back for the Commonwealth and the Troop and the Color, and then stay gone for the rest of the summer. I had no idea that Kate was only going to show up twice in 1 year, but I knew it was unsustainable. The pace that she was keeping, you could see that it was wearing on her. I will always believe that pretending to be something she wasn't, something she's not, something she will never be, wore her down. It wore her down. And I knew she wasn't going to be able to keep it up. There was no way that they were going to keep up with the Sussexes. No way. Especially Kate. I didn't think it possible. I said, this is unsustainable. She ain't going to be able to do it. She was already looking haggard around Christmas. And now she's gotten what she's always wanted. Now, they got some little cock and bull story about how this brush with mortality has made her realize how important family is. Well, there's a lot of people in Britain that are not living off of the public dole that have had a brush with mortality that are not able to take off. Why does she get to do it? Why does she get to do it? You see, they plant stories like that and wait for the reaction. Out of sight, out of mind. It's just like the same thing they said when she was pregnant with the children. Once she had those babies, she went on maternity leave and she was good for a year. This is the new excuse to do as little as possible, as though Charles is not struggling. And as much as I can't stand that Camilla, and y'all know I don't like her, I don't like none of them really. Camilla shouldn't be working as much as she is. I mean, not you can call that work, but William and Kate are supposed to be in the forefront. They are supposed to be lifting the heavy weight. When was the last time y'all saw William? When's the last time y'all saw William? William has done little or nothing in the past few weeks. Only occasionally popping out for something. And other than that, he's not doing anything. He's doing none of the stuff that his grandmother did. None of the stuff that his grandfather did. And he's not going to do it. Neither one of them. She got what she wanted. There may be some illness there, but there are people who are far worse off that are doing 1,000 times as much and they don't complain. But because of her situation, she can just decide, I'm not doing anything. And that's the end of it. And you can't argue with it. Well, after all, she's facing her mortality. You can't argue with that. It just sounds legitimate. It sounds certain. And maybe it is true. I saw a lady on her cell phone, maybe some of you all saw the video, who was trying to go about her day, and she was terrified. This Black woman running through the streets, confused, couldn't figure out where she was supposed to go because she was so afraid that some of the thugs were going to get her. So this other lady, white lady, took her hand and said, they have to go through me. And she said, we'll find wherever it is you need to go. I'll make sure you get there. And that's a 1,000 people's story. That's 100,000 people's story. But she gets to just decide, well, you know what? This has been a close one. I think I'll take off for the rest of 2024. Guess I'll take off for the rest of 2024. Good luck, Charles. You're going to need it. I'll refer my doctor to you. So right now, she's probably doing her impersonation of Jennifer Lewis. Got that leg jacked up. Probably ain't brought it back down to the floor since. That's what you do when you survive a traumatic situation. You kick that leg up in the air. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that tonight with my life alert in hand. I'm going to hold my life alert and I'm going to kick my leg up in the air, just like Jennifer, just like Kitty. Hello. I have the biggest emergency. I got the biggest problem. I got the fakest hair. Anyway, there's Trump being such a Karen. There's a black woman running for president of the United States, just being a Karen. God only knows who he's on the phone with, but there's Trump being a Karen. And lastly, and this is it for tonight, I'm going to finish here with Kamala. I don't know why I think AI is a 13-year-old boy. If AI was a person, it would be a 13-year-old boy. If someone wants a picture of the vice president as the Statue of Liberty, why is it every time the dress is cut low, her thigh is showing? I'm telling you, AI must be a 13-year-old boy. A pubescent middle school child who who's letting his imagination get the better of him. So if AI, I need to try to do an AI. Maybe I could say, you know, and no legs this time at least or something. But yeah, I think AI is a 13-year-old boy because every time I see another Statue of Liberty, Vice President Kamala Harris, the dress gets lower, the split gets higher. I'm sure she wouldn't recognize herself. So anyway, I'm going to go. Before the Statue of Liberty vice president catches pneumonia, we got to get her covered up because that's just too much. Anyway, thanks. I had fun as usual. Yeah, that was it. Thank you to the Mod Squad for keeping this a safe space. And thank you for all of your contributions. Thank you for the memberships. Remember, the memberships to Royal Sussex is still a bargain at just $4.99. Okay? All right. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow.
He intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking. got yours. And we're not going back. We're not going back. And we're not going back because we know what that would look like.